Obviously in life, health always comes first, but for me, and if you ask me, a lot of footballers, they would say football is just all they want to do, you know, eat, sleep, drink, whatever, anything is always football, you know, we love it. It's what we want to do in life, and you know, I'm more than happy to be back playing. When you have 2 years out, you've got no idea what it's like, and obviously in my case it's not so much of an injury wise, it's something I couldn't do anything about, so it put a lot of perspective into my life. I've always just got on with it. I just always said to myself, it'll come, your time will come, you know, you've just got to get through this part. And then obviously I knew defeating testicular cancer, you know, fighting it would never be an easy task. You know, Lance Armstrong fought it for so many years. A lot of people around the world have fought it for months and months on end. You know, it's not something that goes overnight or over a couple of days in the hospital bed. It really is, you got to put your mind to it, you know, so it's one of those things. And now that I've, you know, all clear for the past 6 weeks, you know, it's no better feeling.
Every credit to him, you know, he's been through an hell of an ordeal, and I honestly think, without exaggerating, that if he'd not had the illness, I think he'd be in Sam's plans now.
Well, he's got options to his right and his left. Still Kamara. Could have played in Tombides. Might still be a chance for Tombides. Could he score the winner? That is the moment to strike. Dylan Tombides with a goal that could prove so vital. What an important moment for Australia and for Dylan Tombides.
I was in Cancun at the time, just after the World Cup, and obviously being young, I was only 17 at the time. I didn't really, I don't know what made me do it, because I had my phone on, it was on international lock, but for some reason I had a voicemail and I thought, I need to hear this one. And obviously the Australian doctors rang me up saying, you know, you need to give me a call ASAP. And obviously he's told me I've either taken something illegal or I have a tumour. And at the time, obviously young, not exactly taught these sort of things in school, I didn't think too much of it. And it never really occurred to me how serious the case was until maybe eight months into the treatment, where, you know, I'm still fighting it, and I was thinking, after first treatment, I'm going to be playing again in 4 months' time. You know, this is just a little illness, and it's not. And I didn't understand the severity of it at the time, and I don't think, unless you're going through it, you really can understand the severity of it. So it was a massive shock come a year, and I'm still, you know, I got no hair. I look like white as a ghost. So it was really horrifying, and I think to be out of it now is the most relief in the world, really.
He's shown he's adaptable, and I think if he continues with that and the health stays the same, then, you know, the future's bright.
Unless you know someone who's going through it, or you've been through it yourself, you've got really no idea as how hard it is and how much it takes out of not just yourself, but all your loved ones, your family. You know, because there's nothing they can do about it. There's nothing they can do for you. Just hope you pull through.
You know, I think you're made from your family, and, you know, you looking at the parents he's got as well. It's that's where you come from. You know, and a lot of kids would have wilted from it, but the background he's got and the way he's grown up with the family, and you know, from my time of knowing him, he's a fighter. And I wish, you know, I had a team with him as well. You know, because they're the qualities that you need.
Loads of low points. The biggest one I'd say is you're helpless. You really are at times. My mum would be in there a lot with me, you know, Dad and my brother I had plenty of people from the club come and visit me, but I'd turn a lot of people away because I didn't want to let them see me in that sort of vulnerable state, because I really was in quite a mess at times. It was just, you know, chemotherapy makes you really, really ill, and I'd be bedbound for days. I wouldn't eat. It wasn't an enjoyable time for myself, no.
I mean, listen, I've done my bit, but I think it's been a team effort at the football club. You know, I mean, I think Dylan will be the first to admit. John Irwin, the physio, who's now moved up to the first team, has been an immense support. Mum and Dad, Taylor, the brother, and obviously, you know, everybody at the football clubs in their own time, because Dylan would be the first to say, I don't think he'd want everybody to keep asking him how he is, and you just got to judge it by that. And I think his main priority, or our main priority for Dylan, was to be the football service for him, because that's what he wants to be. And I think that sort of momentum in his brain to sort of have the football as the you know, the side part to it has helped him. And if we've been a small bit of help in it, then we're delighted with that as well.
Oh, they've been absolutely massive support from. There are too many names to acknowledge. You know, John Irwin's been a massive part of this. He's been every oncology meeting. You know, the gaffer has been fantastic. Karen Brady, they've all been really helpful at this time. And a lot of the players have sent little gift cards and things like that to me while I've been in hospital. So it's more than a great help they've been.
I lost my mum to cancer a few years ago, so I can sort of sympathise with it a little bit. But obviously, you know, for the family with a son going through that as well, it's a difficult time. And you know, I've got, you know, pride in the fact of they've come through the ordeal, and obviously they're now on to that next chapter where it's keeping the health and then, you know, progressing Dylan's football career, which they're all proud of.
I always knew I'd get back eventually. It was just more of a case of when and where I'd get my opportunity, when I'd get the chance to play. I'd always come down to training, try and train, even going through chemotherapy, just because I love the game. I wanted to be there, I wanted to be around the club, you know. So no, I just needed the time, more or less when as not where. I'd like to put on a couple more kilos of muscle, if I'm being honest. It's just because when I was at World Cup with Australia, I weighed 84. Now I'm only 80, so there's not a big difference, but those small differences in football can be the difference between you winning a header or, you know, beating your player by that extra yard or two. So once I've got those stepping stones in place physically, and I feel fine. We've got, you know, a great amount of technology goes into GPS data these days, so they know how fast or how far you're running, how much effort you put in. So there's no hiding, and I'm not by any means I'm up there always with the top runners in the team, you know. So it's a compliment in my respect, because I've obviously for 2 years out, and to come back and be up there with the rest of the lads is nothing more I'd want.
You know, Dylan, with the age he is, he's got plenty of time on his side, and the club will give him that time, you know, because he'll thoroughly earn a new contract towards the end of the year, and then obviously we'll be looking at putting the stepping stones in place when to push him, and it's more a case of now making sure we don't push too quick, but if he's ready, you know, and that's where hopefully the expertise of the people working with him will come into its own.
I've been told they don't want to push me too hard, obviously, for the reasons of the past 2 years I've missed out on a great amount of football. This is just finished my first pre-season now in 2 years, so it's been a long time out of the game, and obviously in that time you don't know what could have happened, whether your muscles shrink or what effects chemotherapy itself can have on you, but I feel great. I feel a lot better than I did, so I'd want to get back and up into this Gaffers team as quick as possible. I've been with the national team. I've travelled away with them when they went to Scotland, so I got to meet all the, you know, the staff. Holger, you know, they're all fantastic. You know, I've always Gary Moretti, who's the national team's manager. He keeps in touch. You know, I speak to him on a every now and then basis just to see how I'm doing. You know, they're all really good bunch, and I can't wait to be involved with them more often.
But I remember watching Dylan on the television in the World Cup, where it was first reported with the illness he picked up, and you know, he was a leading player for Australia in that tournament, no doubt, and I think that as long as he keeps his feet on the ground and keeps working hard, the quality's there for him to do both.
I used to, obviously when I was 17, and being on the bench in the Premier League against Sunderland, that was all I could think of. You know, I wanted to be there, I wanted to play football, but then, because obviously being young, you almost want to break records. You want to be the youngest player out there, etc. But now, obviously going throughout the past 2 years, I'm only 19 now, and I look at it thinking I'm quite young still, and there's plenty of time. So, you know, for like people like my brother who are injured at the moment, but he's only 17, so he's got years ahead of him still where he can go and play as a youngster. So that's a massive mental statement in my head to say there's no rush. More, I think your time will come. You get over this part now, and everything will fall in line for you.
You could get 11 people to run around and work hard for West Ham, but you need intelligence as well, and I think that's the most important factor in a player. If they've got intelligence and you can coach them, and they've got a desire to work hard, then you know that match is what you're looking for in any player. And I think Dylan shows all them qualities.
If the opportunity was there, I'd gladly take it with both hands, you know, but obviously I've got to take part of my time, you know. We've got some great Modibo Maega and Andy Carroll obviously at the club at the minute. Andy's very good striker. The gaffers sort of play, you know, big, strong, tall. So there's a lot of competition for places, especially now with a lot of players coming in. But obviously, if I'm given the chance, I'm gladly going to take it.